It's time for Joy News Interactive, and Aisha Ibrahim is here to take us through it. Hello, Aisha.
Hello, Israel. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
And have you sent a congratulatory message already to John Domelo?
I have been privileged to do that now.
Of course,
congratulations to you, John Domelo, on the arrival of your baby.
First baby.
First baby.
Is it a boy or girl?
It's a boy.
Oh,
so
great.
John Domelo
So,
Jr.
Congratulations to you, John Domelo. And you know how to join this conversation. It's on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. On Twitter, it's at Joy News on TV. And on WhatsApp, the number is on your screen. Today is World Food Day. And while celebrating our delicacies, we throw the spotlight on how often we check expiry dates on the food we pick from the shelves. Most of us don't even check out for expiry dates before consuming, which leads often to health problems. So how often do you check expiry dates on food products before you buy or consume?
But the angry nature of a man doesn't even require you to come and do this, check and all those things. But the most unfortunate thing is when the food has expired now, they use as something spirit to clean the expiring date so that you will not even see it. And sometimes it's written at a very small place that you cannot even find out. But you are very hungry, so it's not about checking the expiring date or something. That's the most important to you at the moment.
Once a while I do check it. I do check it, but not often.
Right.
It's sometimes the pressure and the busy you are in, but you don't check things you buy.
But you know,
Yeah, I know you can fall sick.
Mostly I check at the normal provision stores. Anytime I buy something like the canned foods and the sachet foods, I check it. Because mostly some are expired, but still, though they have bought it and it's in the store, they want to sell it. Some also know that it's expired. But because of their money they are putting in, so they want to tell us that the date has expired.
Normally, I don't usually check on that, but it depends. When you are going on the streets, how you see the people marketing, their items. Then the way they bring the price down can make me to check the expiring date. Yes, because usually that is the main way I can be able to check expiring dates, because what they normally say at high price, they will bring it down, then you can be able to just check if it's getting expired.
All right, Israel, do you check expiry dates when you pick up things from the shelf? But you know this dangerous thing that people clean when it's getting close to expiry date, they delete or
that also happens.
Find a way.
So what I tend to do is I go to a particular shop where I know that the stuff that they have are fresh.
So people often buy from them.
People buy from them a lot. So you tend to have fresh
things all the time. I think all of us should learn to do that. Let's check out your messages on Facebook.
So on Facebook, Sir Obama says, I do not take convenient foods frequently, but anytime I do, as a member of the Consumer Protection Agency looking for news, I open my eyes widely to check everything detail. My worry, however, if the supposed pure water on the market has no expiry dates on them, Food and Drugs Board needs to up their game in that regard. Bayo Jeremiah says, anytime I want to buy the consumables, especially medicine from the pharmacy shops, I don't buy consumables when they are left with 1 month for them to expire. Ernest Gaddis says, I'm very conscious, so I do that all the time. Sometimes I end up arguing with the sellers with regards to the proximity of some of their products to or how close it is to the expiry dates. And Yabwa Solomon says, I do that anytime I buy any product from the market, but my fear is people trying to tamper with the expiration date when the date is due.
And Pancha Philip said, I do check, but not all the time. Abdul Mujib says, Charlie, I buy no auchi. And on WhatsApp, Bismarck from Ho says, I used to check it anytime I want to buy. And this one is coming from Frank, and he says, it's very difficult to find expiry dates on products in the shop. Really, I'm sure you need to open your eyes widely because it's always there. This one didn't add his name. He says there are a lot of expired foodstuffs at some shops in Tamale and Ghana as a whole, so the Food and Drugs Board should do something about that. Ernest from Adenta says, oh, okay, so he's admiring the way you and Israel flew together as you present. Thank you very much, Ernest. And he says he's in love with my top. Thank you so much for the compliment. This one is from, okay, so it says, I nearly died at Gushegu during my national service after taking expired what? Orals. Okay, and this one also didn't add. Please add your name to the messages. And it says, God help us. Okay, so it's from Muna Saola. There are a lot of your messages coming on, and this one is from the Volta region. NPK sends it. He says, I don't check any expiry date because I know the whole Ghana is contaminated. Okay, really? And this one says, what about roasted plantain and groundnut? Of course, that's not what we are talking about. Okay. And then Walanyo says, I can't tell the last time I did that. Hey, Charlie, nipa e ho to what? Painting beer. Well, I don't know what he's trying to say. He says, Happy World Food Day. So, okay, so he's wishing all of us Happy World Food Day. Agbeko from Tamale says, okay, so Tamale is full of expired products. And this one says, I always check for expiry dates before buying food items. Those are, and then this one is coming from Ofe. He says, I always enjoy your news. Thank you so much for enjoying our news. Now, let's get on to a landlord in Sotuam, a suburb of Accra, who has ripped off the roof of a tenant for delaying rent payment for a month. According to the tenant, however, her husband was really sick, admitted in the hospital, which resulted in the late payment of her rent. Have you had any experience with your landlord or landlady? How did you react to it? And what do you make of this particular one?
In a nutshell, I think it's unlawful, because if you want somebody to get out of the house, there are so many means. There are so many lawful means of which you can let the person get out of the house, but not through just ripping off the roof. It doesn't make sense. So if you think the person is quite annoying, the person is not like, how should I put it, very kind of like rude and that kind of stuff, you can just channel it through the appropriate means.
If someone owes you, that doesn't give you the right to, take off the root of the person. So yeah, personally I haven't witnessed such a thing. Even to whatever extent of annoyance it might be, that doesn't still allow the landlord to do such a thing, because the tenant can actually report the situation to, I think, the rent control, and then maybe definitely the landlord will find himself guilty, irrespective of he being the owner of the house, because I think people's rights should be respected.
I think it's very bad. It's very bad. Even when the time is due, you have to give 3 months. After 3 months, you give the person time. Everyone is, because sometimes it's money issue. Sometimes because you have not gotten any better place to also live. No matter how someone will be annoying, doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to that extent. To remove the rooftop, now so I said, look at the distraction you cause. It's more than I die here. Then when I saw the room crowd, just a one room near there, how can you do that? Even if it were to be you, and if you've dreamt of maybe traveling somewhere, you will never do that. But also that you are just here doing a whole lot of unnecessary things. But if you've traveled before, like, you appreciate everybody. So
it's quite a pity to hear that a landlord has ripped off a tenant's, roof. But you see, sometimes some of the tenants are too loudmouth. I don't support this landlord, but if you probably speak with the landlord, I'm sure he will tell you how he gave a whole 1 month. Okay. The 1 month came, she never bothered to come and explain to him that, oh, Charlie, things no they be, so I beg.
Yeah, but whatever it
more
is,
time.
Whatever it is,
definitely,
you can't rip off the roof of
you
that.
can't do that. But I think that, dialogue is always the best way to handle these issues. All right, okay, so let's check out some messages on WhatsApp. And quite a number of people are really appalled. Okay, so I could say I leave. Okay, so I don't quite get your message. Please send it again. I'll read it. And this one says, Pantia Philip, he says, I've never had that experience, but should it come my way, it wouldn't be easy between myself and the landlord. Really? And this one from Sola, he says, taking the roof off, this is barbaric and inhuman. Lord have mercy. And it's from Mami Pentecost Preparatory School from Sola. And this one, Israel from Kwando, he says, some so-called landlords are not correct. In my case, I paid for a room and was later told to move from what I've paid for into another room in the same house, which is smaller than the former. I can't imagine this craziness. And this one is from, you didn't add your name, it says, my dear, so what if he's owing utility bills like water and electricity for about 6 months and more? Okay, so is that supposed to be a question to me? Walanyo in Akweche says the landlords are fond of doing that. The law of the land must start biting these lawless landlords. And this one from Moses says, in fact, this landlord is not serious. And let me take this from Selom from Ho. He said, that landlord is very wicked, if I may say. This one, he says, I think that landlord has a mental challenge which should be checked. And this one is coming from who you didn't add your name. It says, what a weak landlord. How can you do that to your fellow human? Or you want her to sleep outside and he will be in church every Sunday praying for help and don't want to help your fellow human. This one says, people who don't travel will act that way. The messages are coming. It shows how passionate people are about this topic. And Sly from Kukumlele says, what a heartless landlord. A law should be passed. There's already a law that deals with tenancy. This one says, why the landlord to the why? Israel, listen to this one. He said, why the landlord to the way alumi or what?
What does alumi have to do with it?
I don't know. I beg. Don't put me in trouble. And Johnny from Akosomo says, is this landlord having children living in other people's houses? He must be jailed. And Agbeko Geshon says, my landlord will even insult your entire family. He even told me if his money in human blood, if his money is in human blood, he will pick it. Wow. And the message is coming from Tamale. Christian says, this landlord should face the law. Is he really a Christian? Ghana for you, everything goes. And those are some comments on WhatsApp. And let me take this one. He says, Israel, my man on the screen, no size. And it's coming from Sly from Kukumlele. That's how we end.
Thank you very much, Sly.
That's how we end the interactive segments. My name is Aisha.